Hello geopolitics enthusiasts, welcome back to EDUSPLORER. If you are just coming across our channel, congratulations to you as you're watching the maiden edition of news across the continent of Africa, exclusively on EDUSPLORER. Sit tight as I give you the latest news from Nigeria, Senegal, DR Congo, and many more African countries. Hit the subscribe button now and toggle on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our informative content. Starting with Al Jazeera, Senegal Sall vows to exit office in April, but election date still unknown. It remains unclear when the government will set a new election date as ordered by the Constitutional Court. Senegal's President Marky Sall has said that he will end his term in April as expected, but did not give a new date for the presidential election originally scheduled for Sunday. Sall, who is wrapping up 2 terms in office and who has said he would not run again, postponed the election till December, citing unresolved disputes over who could run. But his move was struck down by Senegal's Constitutional Court as illegal. According to Africa News, Nigerians protest over high cost of living, with placards reading "End bad government now" and "End hunger." Residents of one of Nigeria's largest cities took to the streets on Monday, February 19th. Large crowds marched through the center of Ibadan in the country's west. According to government statistics, the inflation rate in January rose to 29.9%, its highest since 1996, mainly driven by food and non-alcoholic beverages. This country is bleeding. This country is hard. This country is angry. People are suffering. No one can afford 3 square meals, even 2 square meals in our dear country today again. Inflation on all goods, inflation of foods, inflation of cement, inflation of clothes, inflation of motors, inflation of bikes, inflation of transportation from one point to another. That's why we come out for a peaceful protest, Sadiq, an artisan, said. Nigerians are facing one of the West African nation's worst economic crises in as many years, triggered by a surging inflation rate, which follows monetary policies that have tipped the local currency to an all-time low against the dollar, provoking anger and protest across the country. There is nothing we want to do in Nigeria with ease. We just hope things get better. Everything, even our parents, are complaining. We too are complaining. People want to go to school, but there is no money. Please help us, beg President Bola Tinubu. Back to Al Jazeera. Hundreds of mourners attend funeral for marathon star Kiptum in Kenya. The 24-year-old set the world record in Chicago in October before his death in a car accident this month. Marathon world record holder Kevin Kiptum, whose dreams of breaking the race's 2-hour barrier were ended by a fatal car crash this month, has been remembered for his talent and humility at funeral in western Kenya. The service on Friday in his hometown, the Rift Valley village of Chepkorio, was attended by hundreds of mourners, including political and sporting dignitaries like President William Ruto and World Athletics President Sebastian Coe. The 24-year-old Kipton had run only 3 international marathons, but each was among the fastest 7 ever recorded. He set the world record in Chicago in October in 2 hours and 35 seconds, shaving off 34 seconds off his compatriot Eliud Kipchoge's mark. Anglican Bishop Pope Corey, who presided over the service, emphasized Kiptum's humility and ties to the local community, where he had worked as a livestock herder and trained as an electrician before becoming a professional runner. Still on Al Jazeera, Codeco rebel attack kills 15 people in eastern DR Congo. Violence has been on the rise in the conflict-hit eastern DR Congo in recent weeks as multiple armed groups wreak havoc. Armed rebels have killed 15 people in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo's troubled Ituri province, local sources said on Sunday, in the second such attack in days. The sources said the Codeco Cooperative for the Development of Congo militia, which claims to defend the interests of the Lendu ethnic group, again targeted people from the rival Ema tribe. Codeco fighters ambushed users of a road near the village of Tali, where they stopped 15 people, including one woman, on Saturday afternoon, said Juliet Soba, a civil society leader in Jugu, a town in the area. The militia men tied them up and undressed them before killing them, while some victims had their throats cut. Others were shot dead, he said. According to a humanitarian source, the bodies of the victims bear the marks of torture. Moving on to BBC. Kenya scraps entry fee for South Africans and several other foreign nationals. Kenya has exempted passport holders from South Africa and 6 other countries from paying an unpopular entry fee introduced last month. The government scrapped visa requirements for all foreign passport holders last month. The move was seen as an attempt to promote Kenya as a tourist destination and to attract business travelers. But a $30 £23 entry fee was introduced, including for some visitors who previously did not require visas. The decision caused a huge backlash, with critics saying that it could lead to countries with which Kenya has visa waiver agreements introducing a similar fee, making travel more costly and bureaucratic. Only travelers from the East African Community (EAC) regional bloc were exempt from paying the money. In addition to South Africa, the exemption has been extended to passport holders from 5 other African states: Ethiopia, Eritrea, Congo-Brazzaville, Comoros, and Mozambique. San Marino, Europe's 3rd smallest nation, is the only other country on the exemption list. Meanwhile, Algeria's black market for foreign currency underlines its economic woes, according to Independent. In Algeria, people have long relied on foreign currencies to buy imported items in short supply or finance their children's educations abroad. In a square near the center of Algiers, currency traders carry wads of euros, pounds, and dollars, hoping to exchange them to those worried about the plummeting value of the Algerian dinar. This black market for foreign currencies is among the signs of the economic woes plaguing Algeria. The state, reluctant to allow the exchange rate to adjust fully, has proven incapable of limiting demand among the population as confidence in the dinar remains low. The widening parallel exchange rate underscores how everyday Algerians have lost buying power as the government has juggled competing priorities, trying to combat inflation and maintain state spending, subsidies, and price controls that keep people afloat. In another news on Reuters, Zambia's kwacha is Africa's best performing currency in 2024. Zambia's kwacha is Africa's best performing currency against the US dollar so far this year, after the central bank sharply tightened monetary policy, but analysts said it would strengthen sustainably only if the country attracts more foreign investment. The kwacha has rallied 13.8% to 22.8 against the greenback in 2024, according to LCEG data, after the central bank raised commercial banks' reserve ratio and then hiked interest rates earlier this month in a bid to reverse a decline in the currency that had pushed up inflation. The kwacha's performance this year has been remarkable, said Danny Griff, co-head of Africa at research firm ETM Analytics. According to Le Monde, pressure mounts on Rwanda over violence in DR Congo. The US, one of Kigali's most valued allies, condemned violence by the M23 rebels, which the UN says are supported by Rwanda after fighting fled near Goma. While the security situation in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, has continued to deteriorate over the last few months, Angola, urged by the United States, is attempting to revive a diplomatic process that has reached the end of its rope between Rwanda and the DRC. Jetting down to Morocco. According to Morocco World News, the European Development Bank outlines €400 million investment on Morocco's water sector. Morocco has been facing a severe drought affecting the country's economy amid pledges to rationalize the use of water. The European Bank for Reconstruction and Development (EBRD) outlined on Thursday €400 million investment plan for Morocco's water sector, an industry that has been facing notable challenges due to drought and water crisis. EBRD Director for Morocco, Antoine Saleh Ditrou, announced the news while speaking at Mohammed VI Polytechnic University, UMCP, stressing that this investment focuses on water supply and demand management. Once again on Al Jazeera, they could have done more. Zimbabweans slam government anti-cholera campaign. Many Zimbabweans say the government is here to tackle the cause of recurrent bouts of cholera in the nation. And we've come to the end of today's episode on news across the continent of Africa on EDUSPLORER. If you enjoyed what you just watched, consider smashing the like button, comment and share. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and toggle on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any episode of news across the continent of Africa on EDUSPLORER. Until then, bye-bye.